When Dr. McLeod Bethune stated, "I leave your responsibility to our young people," I believe that she referenced that to the older generations. Therefore, the older generations must impart the knowledge, all of their experience into the younger people to build them up, being that they are the leaders of tomorrow, being that they will eventually run the world once the older generations die off. And leaving you knowledge to our young people is not just a one generation thing, it's a generational thing. So therefore, as individuals grow older, they must continue to pour and share experiences, pour knowledge and share experiences with the young people, with the future generations to come.
So in Dr. Bethune's last will and testament, something that she left behind was a responsibility to our young people. That means to uplift, encourage, support, all of the above, regardless of any biases, whether that be racial, sexual orientation, gender, anything in general. It's just a responsibility to our young people. And as of right now, with the current climate of everything, as a whole, we are not upholding that standard. There are some faculty members and administrators who are extremely supportive and extremely engaged with the students and the student body. However, a few rotten apples can spoil the bunch. And as of right now, that's the current climate, and that's how a lot of the students are feeling.
I think the responsibility is to invest in our students, invest in the youth. Do our best to not only ensure that our legacy continues, but her legacy continues. So the first class that comes in that you encounter, if you inspire them enough, then they'll inspire the next class, then the next class will inspire that class. And you don't know, you might have inspired the future president, the future CEO, the future nurse, anything like that.
So I believe that the responsibility to which our founder and benefactor referred was broad and multifaceted and enduring. But at its core, I believe what she was referring to is that as educators, as the stewards of this institution, as adults, we have an obligation to submit ourselves both collectively and individually to ensure that our students are given the opportunity, experiences, the support, the environment to ensure that they are prepared and able to fulfill their highest and best aspirations and to lead life of passion and purpose.
So I think that in her last will and testament, there are so many fundamental and profound pieces, but I think that because we are an institution of higher learning, that piece really is the hallmark of who she was and who we continue to be as an institution. As someone who's been here for a long time, that legacy, I think for all of us here, is central in our everyday interactions with one another and with our students. And that is, we have a profound sense of that piece of our responsibility. Of course, we have a lot of responsibilities as administrators, but all of us know that the central and most important aspect of everything we do every single day is centered around our students.
So I have the pleasure of serving Bethune-Cookman University as what we identify as a student success coach. Sometimes the students know us as academic advisors. And so with that, that massive notion of what it means to be responsible of an entire generation, and not just a generation, but generations of people is huge, in that it doesn't stop in the classroom, that it goes beyond the classroom, and that it goes into the experience part of life, that it goes into what that student or what that young person does every second of his or her day. And so I've adopted what I like to call an 80-20 philosophy. And I got that philosophy from a former supervisor who actually worked at Bethune-Cookman University when I first started as an admissions counselor. And that philosophy sort of states that while students, the young people here at the institution, may be in the classroom for 20% of the time, what are they doing 80% of that other time, right? And so what that means is, while yes, they're coming here to obtain a degree in a specific area of interest, that what else is Bethune-Cookman University? And by that I mean, what is the faculty, what is the staff, what are the mentors, what are the advisors? Everybody who becomes a part of that family unit that that young person would see, what are we doing for that student outside of the classroom?
So coming from a faculty point of view, leaving the love and trust and the responsibility to our youth, describing that from the faculty point, being here, being committed, going over and beyond the call of duty. If it was about the pay, a lot of people probably wouldn't stick around. But because we have passion for what we do and we truly care about our youth and the future of our society, we really gonna go over and beyond. So leaving that legacy of the responsibility to educate, to love on our youth, it is taking place. Now, I'm not gonna say with everybody, but you know those that you can go to, talk to, and be willing to sit down and have a conversation with, and then keep it 100 with you.
I do. I believe that not only as a faculty member, but as an alum of the institution, it is my place, my duty, my call. And when I say my call, I believe that I am here on an assignment that was given to me by God to make sure that I do what someone did for me. And so in my day-to-day drive and goal of helping students, it's my duty to pay it forward. When I think about paying it forward, I think about those individuals who have touched my life and made sure that I succeeded while I was at Bethune-Cookman University. And just to name a few, those Dr. Joan Thompson and the Daisy Grimes and my mentor Sharon Jordan, mentor Pat Russell McLeod, those individuals who poured into me. And so every day I understand that that is my responsibility.
Yes, totally I understand it, because being here a number of years and understanding the last will and testament, you have a sense and a responsibility and an obligation to give back to the student that's coming.
To me, what Dr. Bethune was saying was that we must do all that we can to assure that the young people that we're entrusted with receive an education. And which includes that we have to go beyond the norm in higher education, because we have to understand all of the students that we accept at Bethune-Cookman may not be at the level that they need to be when they come to Bethune-Cookman, but that does not mean that they don't have great potentials, and that it's our responsibility to see in them what they don't see in themselves, and we have a responsibility to do all that we can to pull it out.
Absolutely. I think if you read the literature, read the speeches on Dr. Bethune, read the books that have been written on her, and you make your way through all of that, you begin to understand that her focus was to develop and give opportunities people to become people who will be transformers and servants in this world. A lot of schools prepare people to have great careers and to make lots of money. Not that that was not her intent, but her focus was to build people who could make a difference in this world.
Yes, and it is a heavy responsibility because unlike Dr. Bethune's time, we have technology. Technology has totally changed the way how we deliver education, how we communicate, and so with that, I do understand, but making sure that we stay in tune with this generation. I want this generation to be mindful that the use of technology is good, but sometimes we don't use it for the right purpose. And if you just think about Dr. Bethune, her desire was to make sure that students took advantage of every opportunity for the good. So the heavy lift for us is making sure that you understand that technology is great, you have it available, but to show you or to demonstrate to you that it is your responsibility to use it wisely. So for us, as an administrator at Bethune, we have to make sure that we are incorporating technology into our classes, that we're providing you, the student, with the proper tools that when you leave the institution that you can immediately go out and serve, as designed by our motto, enter to learn, depart to serve.
I do believe that everybody understands what the responsibility is, although sometimes I do believe that some of them will try to overbear that with their own belief system and make the students do what they believe is right versus what the student actually would like to do. So instead of guiding them, I feel like they're trying to change what they would like to do to fit what the faculty would want instead.
Yes, I believe that the faculty and administration understand what their responsibility is, but to a certain extent. When you have some administration and faculty who have been here for a certain amount of time and understand the culture of Bethune-Cookman and the rich legacy that this institution was built upon, they have a greater deal of understanding of why they do what they do. But when you have people that come in, and that come from different cultures of other institutions and don't quite understand the culture of Bethune-Cookman, it's kind of hard for them to assimilate. Not that it's impossible, but they just have to learn how to assimilate to the culture here and understand why we do what we do and the passion behind it.
I can't speak for everyone, being that faculty and administration, that's very broad. I don't think that they've taken time to dissect those words, but I do think some understand while some don't. I think the faculty, which is our teachers, I think they understand more than the administration, especially given the new administration. I would definitely say the faculty understand. Since being at Cookman, I can honestly say that my teachers have led me in the right direction. They've definitely provided guidance, and I'm gonna graduate. I have somewhere to go after I graduate, so I think they've done their deed. As far as administration, I've never really worked with administration until I became a member of SGA, and now that I'm in SGA, do they understand what responsibility to our youth means? I think they know what business is, but as far as responsibility to our youth, they've kind of neglected the youth while conducting business. So as previously stated by my teachers, I do feel as if they're leading me in the right direction. They're providing guidance, pouring all their knowledge into me, and just preparing me to lead, being that to them I will be a leader of tomorrow. As far as administration, I do not feel as if their responsibility of guiding me and providing the assistance that I need, especially serving in the position as Miss VCU, I don't feel like it's there, to be honest. And as previously stated, I do feel as if for the institution, as far as conducting business, especially given the financial state that we're in, they're primarily focused on that, and therefore they neglect their responsibility to the students.
So as a student, I do not feel like the responsibility is being fulfilled. I feel as though there is a lot of work that needs to be done to ensure that the students are the main focus of every faculty member and administrator. And from my personal experience, you do have those faculty members who go above and beyond to ensure that you are taught well, that you learn everything that you need to learn, and that they actually serve as a mentor to you. However, in the same breath, there have been some faculty members who just seem as though they're here for a check, if you want to be completely honest. Right now, it's not being fulfilled by everyone. And if we really want to progress the university, if we really want to progress the legacy, then we have to make sure everybody's on the same page with that.
I believe that it depends on the student whether the responsibility is being fulfilled. Because when you look at the students, it's up to us whether we're going to try to make that change, whether we're going to try to work to actually make new and innovative ways to do things, to set protocols, or even just to do the system of learning that we're in right now, the curriculum. It's up to us to speak up and let the faculty know, hey, this is what we would like to do, this is what we would like to learn, because this is what we're going to be doing when we get into the industry. So we'd like to learn this now so that we can be properly prepared. Versus you have also other students who are just going to go with the flow and just follow tradition per se, and may not learn anything and may not have new ideas. And if you do that, then you're drowning out all of the creative ways, the creativity of the students. You're drowning out all of the new ways that you can implement ideas and prospects and even protocols.
Absolutely. I do believe that the responsibility is being filled by administration and faculty, because if that wasn't the case, they wouldn't show up to work every day. I believe that we have faculty and administration here who are genuinely invested in our students and have a great understanding of the legacy of Dr. Bethune and the responsibility that she has bestowed upon all of us. Because as we understand, the responsibility is not just to the faculty and staff, but it goes for the students. And so if you consider yourself to be an extension or a part of the legacy of Bethune-Cookman, then you should be able to exemplify or exude that responsibility in your daily work.
For myself, I think my freshman year coming in, I was inspired. They lit like a light in me that I didn't think can be like anything possible. I was ready to like take over the whole world. The administration supported me whatever I wanted to do. And as my years have continued and matriculated, now as a senior, it's like I have no guidance. I have no support. It has something to do with the administration. I can only be as strong and as supportive as the people above me.
So I believe that the administration over the last 5 or 6 years prior to my arrival, in fact, quite demonstrably lost sight of that expectation, of that responsibility. So the answer is overwhelmingly, I think we have failed the test as a leadership team. I absolutely and unambiguously believe that the team that is in place now, that is here and that has rededicated itself to our North Star, our students who are here for the right reasons, who bring the set of skills and experiences and the integrity and the sense of self and the selflessness that are required by this institution at this time, are in fact living up to the expectations that our founder and benefactor established for us. I think it is extraordinarily important for us to reaffirm just what those expectations are and just what our responsibilities are, not only to our students, but to this community, to our faculty, to our colleagues. But I'm quite certain that if we were judged in our efforts over the last 4 months, since the time that I've been here, that the answer would almost certainly be yes, we are seeking, we are striving intentionally and consistently to fulfill Mary McLeod Bethune's expectations for providing the kind of environment that our students demand.
Yes, I believe me and my colleagues are fulfilling that responsibility. And the reason being, again, understanding the dynamics of society. So for me, being not a millennial, and not a baby boomer, I'm actually between that two age groups, where I do understand the baby boomers. It was very important for them, for their children to go to college, earn a degree, and have careers. I also understand from your perspective as a millennial, where entrepreneurship and flexibility. So for us, and for me in particular, when we changed the name of the college to the College of Business and Entrepreneurship, we knew that we had to do something a little different. Traditional business is great. Having a career is great. But I need for my students to be able to take what they've learned in college, take what they learned from the internships, take what they learned at a career, and then think about, well, how can I now make something that will be better? Let me rephrase that. How can they take their entrepreneurial opportunities to create a better life for the next generation?
Would I consider myself as truly upholding to Dr. Bethune's legacy and what she left us? I would say that I do. I know that that's a huge what's the word? That's a huge elephant to handle, because those are what she left us. I mean, I don't know that any one of us can really fulfill everything that she said, because it's massive. But I do know that I hope to ascertain just a small amount of what she left us.
Personally, yes. Yes. I take all type of calls. I take all type of hours. My kids sometimes feel neglected because they say, "Daddy, you going to work and I'm not going with you." But yes, I do feel I'm playing my role.
Because I was a student at Bethune-Cookman in the 60s and came back there later in 1988 and stayed there for a number of years until 2005 and now 2019. I've seen a lot of changes. Seen a lot of changes at Bethune-Cookman. Are we doing all that we can? That's a tough one because of the changes that I've seen. There are many professors and staff members who are doing all that they can, and they push their students. They believe in their students, and they don't accept mediocrity. I see that a lot. But then I also see that there are those who are there to get a paycheck, and to be honest, because they can't go anywhere else. But then there are the majority of them are there because they're committed. Because at Bethune-Cookman, you don't make, as much money as you can maybe if you've been somewhere else. And I see so many of them there who are there because they are committed to Mrs. Bethune's last will and testament. So I can say that I would, if someone asked me to give them a percentage, I would say that 90% of the people who are employed at Bethune-Cookman are truly committed. But that's at every university you go to. That's at every university. So that's not bad for Bethune-Cookman. I think that 90% of the people there are really committed to fulfilling her last will and testament.
We are engaged simultaneously in a major academic restructuring procedure where we've got a team of really capable faculty from across the university helping us figure out how we can recalibrate and redefine the academic structure so that we can create a new and innovative academic strategy, again, to ensure that we provide the best possible academic experience for our students. Our commitment to investing in career services, for example, in student support and student success, for example. The current provost will be overseeing that this time next year, are all examples of our clear and manifest commitment to more effectively serving our students. And it's because of those activities that I believe, again, if we were judged in terms of are we fulfilling our expectation, I would hope that the answer would be yes, but that's what I believe at this point.
Glad you asked. So, just name a few. I would first probably say mentorship. I often have students who come by and ask, Ms. Shannon, will you mentor me? Ms. Shannon, can you be mom? Can you be aunt? And so whatever my role is at that moment outside of academics, I accept the responsibility to mentor students. I always look for opportunities for scholarships for students. I look for internship opportunities, jobs that will lead into careers. And so any and everything that I can do to help a student succeed, even meaning sometimes digging into my own pocket to purchase a book, or to purchase an access code, or to buy a meal, buy a piece of clothing that's needed for classes or academics. Whatever the case may be, it's my only intent and goal each day is to help our students succeed.
First and foremost, it is in actually following through on what she is charging you to do. And so that is in taking care of these young people, and specifically in guiding them and making them aware of what her intent was. So as they're being educated, that they're being educated not generically, but specifically in the context of what she has described in most nearly all of her writings.
As a staff member here, you try to instill what the founder was saying in their last will and testament. Give them the correct tools, the guidance, the knowledge. You need to know more about Dr. Bethune other than $1.50 and 5 little girls. You need to know the real Dr. Bethune. What else she did besides found this institution?
Absolutely. Even outside of my work as a student leader, and like I just stated, even as a student, your daily drive, when you come here, your responsibility is first to be educated, to be equipped with the tools so that you can go out in the world and make a difference someday. And so when you understand that and your purpose for being here, then you can understand once you leave the walls of this institution, how you can contribute to society and even the world. And so I think that is something that we need to the students on this campus need to understand, that you're not just here just flowing through the days of college, but you're here for a purpose, and that purpose is for you to make a difference in this world and to use this as the grounds for you to be rooted, to transform your mind, and so that you can be a better contribution and asset to society once you leave here.
Am I as a student? I would say I fulfilled the responsibility more in the past years than I am this year, which is a problem. In the past years, I did serve as a resident assistant. Therefore, I poured knowledge into freshman girls on a daily basis. I guided them. I did whatever I needed to do for them to grow. But this year, it has been challenging to reach out to those individuals who are younger than me and just impart knowledge onto them, or pour knowledge into them. It has been harder to reach out to them and pour knowledge into them, but I'm working on it. I plan on getting out and talking to young high school girls, as well as through other things.
I do believe that I'm fulfilling that responsibility because each and every day I try to learn something new. Each and every day I'm trying to learn a new skill set or I'm trying to learn the protocol so that I can think of a better way to implement them. So that we're not doing useless protocols, we're not doing useless tasks when we could be doing things more efficiently. So that's why I do believe that I am trying my best to fulfill this responsibility so that even the people that come after me, being that I'm graduating senior, will have a easier way to get through than I did.
I can honestly say that last year, if I was asked that question, I would say yes, like 10 toes. If my mentees want to do something, I'm going to support them. I'm going to do whatever they want to do. And now as a senior, I can like feel my light dimming. I can say that starting this year off, I wanted to hit the ground running, and slowly but surely, like, I just started stepping back. So now it's like my responsibility to remember what my founder wanted us to do and like start my journey over. Because if I leave this school and nobody was inspired by what I did, I let my founder down.
I think that has actually begun under President Cricht. I think having sessions where you actually have opportunities to hear each other. Oftentimes, students are relegated to a position of just listening. But I think the sense of engaging and saying, what do you think? How do you feel? What is your experience? How is it going? Long term and short term. Very often I'll stop students and say, how's it going today? How your grades? How's that project going? And that's the beginning of a conversation that sometimes gets longer. And so I think that sense of community, shared community, meaning that the voices of the students, the voices of the staff, the voice of the faculty, the voices of alumni, the voices of trustees, the voices of supporters, all of us seeing it as really one part of one united voice that leads to the kind of level of excellence that involves all of us.
So from my perspective, again, I think that the committees that we have that are sometimes more academic in nature, but very often also cross-functional, having students on those committees is absolutely critical. And whether it's at the highest level of the university or at the various departments and school, college levels, including students in conversations. And that doesn't mean that everyone gets what, but it's about the conversation. It's about bringing everyone to the table, listening to the various perspectives, because with that comes a different sense of responsibility, a different sense of accountability, because if you're at the table and you've had an opportunity to express yourself, regardless of what happens, and of course we always make decisions with the very best intentions, and we look at the data, and but in the end, if we were all present, then we all have to live with and be held accountable to the consequences. And so to me, I think that piece is extremely important to include students.
Again, you have at this institution probably 5 different generations. And so understanding how each generation communicate is very important. So for many of the baby boomers, they prefer phone calls. Many of them still write letters, and so they do a lot of writing. For my generation, we're on the cusp of both. We know how to use technology, but we also value relationships. And how do we develop relationships? Normally it's through oral communication and written communication. Understanding that you as a millennial really use social media as your way to communicate or express your feelings and concerns. So as the 3 groups really look at how do each group communicate, it's important that we also appreciate each other's form of communicating. And so we need to teach you all the art of networking versus using technology as your networking tool. It works, but in some instances it's more of a face-to-face or a phone call, but actually open a door for you quicker.
I like to think about casual conversations or create an atmosphere for faculty, staff, and students to come together in a setting to talk about topics that not only affect the campus, but those world issues that are maybe in the news or things that are in the newspaper, if we want to look at things that are occurring on the campus of Bethune-Cookman, I believe that it's probably best that we have a town hall type meeting setting, or just have casual conversations. I know that our current president has open door policy, and so perhaps there is an opportunity for students to walk into the office and share their concerns. I know that faculty members have office hours that they are committed to. But sometimes maybe we should run focus groups or just have something casual. Believe it or not, you get a lot of conversation during non-academic times. And so fun, faculty, staff, student, basketball, kickball, those type of moments, I think that the students begin to see us in a different way. And then we begin to see our students outside of the classroom setting.
I'm all about the trying to get in with the times, even though, like I said, I'm not far removed, but there's certain things that I do not know, but I want to learn, and I tell them that I want to learn, and I ask them all these questions because I want them to know that it's beyond the paperwork. It's beyond what I have to submit for a report. It's beyond, like I said, the Office of New Student Services, that this education and experience is holistic. And if they don't get that leaving out of my office, then I feel like I haven't done my job.
But I think when I read her last will and testament, I'm more committed to the fact that she says she leaves us love. Because love is what makes this world a better place. She leaves us a desire to make life better for others. But her wish, I think, among all of them was that she was letting us know that we must have a responsibility for young people because they are our future. And if we mess up on that, we mess up on our future.